This video is about she was a Luna in secret, but the alpha was forced into another marriage. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low in the velvet sky, casting a silvery glow over the sprawling forest that surrounded the Silver Howl pack. The wind whispered among the trees, a haunting melody that echoed the turmoil in the heart of its Luna. Alina stood at the edge of the woods, her breath visible in the cool night air, as she felt the weight of the world pressing against her. She was a Luna in seeker, the heart of the pack, yet bound by rules that suffocated her spirit. Her mate, Alpha Ret, was destined to marry another. A union designed to strengthen alliances to fulfill a pact made long before their love ignited. Why must you do this? Alina's voice quivered as she clutched her cloak tighter around her shoulders, the fabric a feeble barrier against the chill of the night and the fear that gnawed at her. Ret stepped closer, his dark hair tousled by the wind, eyes reflecting the moonlight like twin pools of despair. Alina, you know why. The Silver Howl needs this alliance. I cannot let the pack suffer because of my heart. The pack needs a true leader, not a puppet on strings, and what of us? What of our bond? She stepped forward, her heart racing, her wolf clawing at the edges of her control. The deep connection they shared was not just emotional, it was primal, fierce, and woven into the very fabric of their beings. He hated this, the rift forming between them, the weight of duty overshadowing the love they had cultivated. It is not just about us. Alden's pack is strong and their resources could save ours from imminent danger. I cannot be selfish. Selfish? This is about survival, isn't it? Alina's voice cracked, tears pooling in her eyes. She fought to blink them away, unwilling to show the vulnerability that made her feel so painfully human. It is about the bond we share, the future we imagined. Ret turned away, unable to meet her gaze, knowing that every word she spoke twisted the knife deeper into his heart. The choice was agony. To reject his own mate was a betrayal of the highest order, but to forsake the pack would lead to ruin. You are my everything, but I cannot jeopardize my duty. Alina felt her world shatter, the pieces scattering like fallen leaves in the autumn wind. With a choked sob, she stepped back, creating the distance that felt necessary yet unbearable. So, you choose honor over love? Honor is love, he murmured, his voice heavy with regret. You know this, Alina, the pack comes first. It must always come first. With that, he turned and walked away, the silhouette of the strong alpha disappearing into the shadows of the trees. Each step he took felt like a betrayal, a fracture in the delicate bond they shared. Ret, she cried, desperation clawing at her throat. Don't do this? But the night swallowed her words, leaving her standing alone beneath the cold gaze of the moon. Days turned into weeks, and the air within the Silver Howl pack grew tense with anticipation. The day of Ret's arranged marriage approached, and whispers filled the air like smoke. Alina kept to herself, hiding her pain behind a mask of strength, but inside she felt herself crumbling. Luna, you must prepare for the gathering, her friend Lyra said gently, her eyes filled with concern. They had been inseparable since childhood, but Lyra had always respected the boundary between them, knowing Alina's heart belonged to Ret. I can bear it, Alina replied, her voice raw. To watch him marry someone else, to bind himself to another, it feels like a death sentence. Lyra stepped closer, wrapping her arms around her friend. You are stronger than this, Alina. You are the heart of our pack. You will rise from this, even if it feels impossible. Tears streamed down Alina's cheeks as she soaked in the comforting presence of her friend. What if he doesn't love her? What if he loves me still? Love is not always enough to defeat duty, Lyra whispered, pulling away to meet Alina's gaze. You must prepare yourself for what is to come. The night of the gathering dawned, a kaleidoscope of emotions swelling within Alina. She dressed in deep blue, the color of the night sky that held so many secrets, and adorned her hair with silver leaves, a symbol of her connection to the moon. As she entered the clearing, the atmosphere crackled with excitement. Packs from neighboring territories had gathered, their leaders standing proudly by their mates. And there stood Ret, imposing and majestic, yet visibly torn. He was to be united with the daughter of the Iron Claw pack, a fierce warrior named Celine. Alina's heart twisted at the sight of them. Celine was stunning, with fiery red hair that cascaded down her back, sharp features that exuded confidence. The moment Ret's eyes met hers, a shiver ran down Alina's spine, igniting a flame of jealousy within her. The ceremony began, the air thick with ritual and expectation. Sounds of chanting filled the air, invoking ancient powers that seemed to hum on the edge of Alina's consciousness. But all she could focus on was Ret standing there as if he were a statue, caught between worlds. As the vows were exchanged, something deep within Alina stirred. Was it jealousy? Rage? Or perhaps a mystical bond urging her forward? She felt the pull of destiny, a gravitational force that beckoned her to intervene. "Stop," she cried, her voice cutting through the air like a blade. Every head turned, and the whispers of shock rippled through the gathering. Red's eyes widened as he met her gaze, a whirlwind of emotions swirling in those deep pools. "Alina," he shouted, his voice laced with urgency and fear. "What are you doing? I cannot let you bind yourself to someone else, not when I am here, not when we are destined." The words poured from her mouth, fierce and defiant, igniting the latent power within her. "Destiny cannot be written," Celine interjected, her voice steady despite the chaos. "You are nothing but a Luna in secret." Alina's heart raced as she felt the weight of those words, but she refused to back down. "I am more than that. I am your mate, Rhett. We are bound by fate." The air crackled with tension, and Rhett stepped forward, his brow furrowed. "Alina, this is madness. You cannot just it. Guarantee I will not allow love to die. Not for duty, not for fear. I believe in our bond, Rhett." A silence fell over the clearing as the gathered wolves watched, the energy between the three of them palpable, electric. Rhett's face softened as he took a step closer, torn between the life he was expected to lead and the love that burned in his heart. "Choose, Rhett," Celine demanded, her voice sharp like a blade. "Choose your pack or your me." Alina's breath hitched, the weight of his decision pressing down on her. She could see the internal struggle reflected in his eyes, the love he carried clashing with the duty he felt bound to uphold. Choose wisely, for the moon reveals all truths. But as she stared at Rhett, she felt the connection between them pulse stronger than ever. The invisible thread that tied their destinies would not be easily severed. And deep down, she knew he felt it too. "Rhett," she whispered, her heart racing, "what will it be?" As the moon began to rise higher, illuminating the clearing, the choice hung in the air, heavy with the promise of change, the echoes of love and destiny poised on the brink of transformation. Would he choose a future written in the stars, or one forged by the strength of their bond? The answer lay just beyond the horizon, waiting to be revealed. The night was far from over. Alina stood at the epicenter of the storm she had ignited, her heart pounding like a war drum. The clearing, once vibrant with anticipation, now felt like a battlefield, each wolf holding its breath, waiting for Rhett's choice, a choice that could alter the very fabric of their lives. "Rhett," she whispered again, the sound trembling in the night air. Hope danced dangerously on the edge of her despair, igniting the embers of courage within her. "You know I am your true mate." Rhett's eyes flickered between her and Celine, his beautiful, fierce betrothed who stood like a lioness at his side, unyielding. "Alina, you don't understand the consequences of this disruption. The packs will see weakness, and that weakness could destroy us. Or it could show them the strength of love," Alina replied, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions crashing around her. "A leader is only as strong as the bonds he nurtures, not the alliances he forges through fear." "Strength and duty must guide an alpha," Celine interjected, her voice a sharp contrast to Alina's plea. "You are a distraction, a reckless fool. If Rhett chooses you, our pack will suffer." Alina felt the weight of her words, and doubt crept in. Could she bear the burden of destroying not just Rhett's future, but the very foundation of the Silver Hull? What if it is not a distraction? What if it is destiny? Destiny? Celine laughed, a sound that cut through the tension like ice. "What do you know of destiny? UV hidden in the shadows while true wolves fight for their place. You are no Luna, you are merely a shadow." Alina's heart sank, but she lifted her chin, defiance mingling with the raw pain coursing through her. "Then let the wolves choose, let them see what true love can forge. If they would rather have a heartless union than a bond born of fate, then perhaps they don't deserve to follow an alpha who can teach his love." Rhett's gaze softened, the conflict in his eyes deepening. He stepped forward, closing the distance between them, each step igniting the primal instincts within Alina. The air thickened, charged with the energy of their connection. But what will the pack think? They need to believe in strength. "And strength can be found in vulnerability," Alina replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "You've shown me that. I've been with you through every challenge, Rhett. I know you feel it too." "Feel what?" Rhett's voice cracked, and the intensity of their bond surged. "What do you want from me, Alina? To defy tradition? To turn my world upside down? To embrace what is already true?" she cried, desperation spilling over. "You are not just an alpha. You be my mate. We belong together. Our love is not a weakness. It is our strength." A silence fell over the gathering, the air so thick with tension that it felt tangible. Celine's expression shifted from confident to wary. "You dare question the future of our packs for a mere fantasy. Not a fantasy of fate." Alina shot back, the fire of her determination igniting anew. We can be stronger together than apart. I won't let you shackle yourself, Rhett, nor will I let you choose fear over love. Fear? Rhett's eyes blazed as he faced her, anger and longing mingling in a tumultuous storm. You think I fear this? I fear losing you more than anything. I fear the darkness that could come if I choose wrong. His words struck Alina like a lightning bolt, illuminating the shadows of despair. Then choose love, choose me. Let us face whatever darkness that may come together. The air hummed around them, the other wolves watching with rapt attention. Celine's cold demeanor shattered, revealing the fury beneath. You'll regret this, Rhett. If you abandon tradition, you will lose the loyalty of your pack. I cannot leave without my heart, he replied, his voice fierce yet quaking with emotion. Alina, you are my heart. The weight of those words hung between them, powerful and overwhelming. Rhett turned to face the gathered wolves, the urgency of the moment palpable. I will not marry you, Celine, not when my soul is bound to another. Gasps rippled through the crowd, and Alina could feel the shock coursing through the air. Celine's face paled, her eyes narrowing. You will regret this, Rhett. You were a fool to let her sway you. Perhaps, he replied, a fire igniting in his gaze. But I'd rather be a fool in love than a king on a throne of lies. As the tension intensified, Alina felt the weight of the moment shimmer with possibility. The bonds of their love, forged in secret and obscured by duty, began to shimmer with clarity. Together, we can redefine what it means to lead. The midnight bathed the clearing in silver, casting shadows that seemed to dance with anticipation. Rhett stepped closer, reaching for Alina's hand, and she felt the familiar spark of their connection ignite anew. But just as their fingers brushed, a howl pierced the night, echoing from the depths of the forest. The wolves turned, their instincts flaring as they sensed an approaching danger. What is that? Lyra's voice trembled, her eyes wide with fear. I don't know, Rhett said, his grip tightening around Alina's hand. But we have to be ready. Suddenly, a shadow emerged from the tree line, a figure cloaked in darkness, moving with a purpose that sent chills down in Alina's spine. The wolf's eyes glinted, glowing like embers in the night. The silver howl is in chaos, it growled, a voice deep and resonant. UV disrupted the balance. Who are you? Rhett stepped forward, instinctively positioning himself between Alina and the unknown threat. What do you want? I am the keeper of the moon, the figure replied, its voice echoing through the clearing as if the very trees listened, and I seek to restore harmony. Alina's heart raced, recognition flooding her. You mean to choose who leads us? No, the keeper spoke, his form shifting, revealing an otherworldly presence. I come to show you the path that lied ahead, a path forged by love, yet burdened by the weight of choices made. Rhett's eyes narrowed, confusion mingling with determination. What are you saying? You must understand, your love is powerful, but so are the forces that seek to tear you apart. The stakes are higher than you realize, and the pacts will not forgive easily. What would you have us do? Alina stepped forward, her heart pounding against her ribcage. If we choose to be together, do we condemn our pacts? The keeper's gaze bored into hers, the depth of ancient wisdom swelling in those luminous eyes. You must find the balance between love and duty, only then can you rise as true leaders. A ripple of uncertainty passed through the gathered wolves, and Celine, heartbroken yet furious, spat, This is madness, you cannot let feelings dictate the course of our future. Feelings are what guide us, Celine, Rhett replied, his voice steady. And I will not let you dictate my future based on fear and obligation. Alina felt the tension crackle like electricity, the weight of destiny pressing down on her shoulders. Then we will fight for our love, she declared, her voice unwavering. For a future where we be not just leaders, but true mates, bound by choice and love. Fight? Celine's voice dripped with scorn. You re-inviting chaos. Chaos is often the precursor for change, the keeper interjected. But remember, love can be a double-edged sword. Choose wisely, and the path ahead will reveal itself. Alina and Rhett exchanged a glance, the connection between them pulsating with energy. Choice loomed before them, and together they felt the weight of their destinies intertwining. As the moon bathed them in its silvery light, Alina stepped closer to Rhett, her voice dropping to a whisper. Whatever happens, we face it together. Yes, together, Rhett agreed, determination burning in his gaze. They turned to face the crowd, hearts aligned, ready to embrace the chaos of love and duty, and confront whatever trials lay ahead. The night was far from over, yet in that moment, beneath the glowing moon, they finally began to forge their path, a path illuminated by their love, bound by destiny. The storm of fate lay ahead, but they would face it as one, united in their hearts, ready to defy the odds and carve their own future. The moon hung like a sentinel in the sky, its silvery light weaving through the treetops, illuminating the tension that crackled through the clearing. The keeper of the moon stood before them, a presence both mystical and commanding, and the weight of unspoken destinies hung heavy in the air. Restoring harmony comes at a cost, the keeper spoke, his voice resonating like a distant thunder. Your bond is true, but the fabric of your lives is frayed. You must choose how to mend it. Rhett's grip on Alina's hand tightened, his heart racing with the urgency of the moment. What do you mean? What cost? The packs will demand proof of your loyalty, the keeper replied, his eyes shimmering with wisdom. To defy tradition is to risk everything, including the safety of your loved ones. Are you prepared for that? Alina's heart sank. I won't hide any longer, not when love is at stake, but what will they demand? What will they take from us? Sometimes, the most profound sacrifices come not from the body, but from the spirit, the keeper said cryptically. You must be ready to face the shadows within and without together. Celine scoffed, her voice laced with contempt. This is folly. You would risk our future for a fool's errand. Love is but a fleeting moment, and duty is eternal. Rhett turned to Celine, his gaze fierce. You don't understand, Celine. Duty without love is tyranny, a one-T rule from fear alone. Alina felt the heat of Rhett's words, igniting a sense of hope within her. Together, we can change the narrative. We can lead with both strength and love. The keeper nodded, as if sensing the potency of their bond. Then you must confront the trials ahead, not just as Alfred and Luna, but as two wolves forged in the fires of love. What trials? Alina asked, her voice trembling with uncertainty. The trials of trust and betrayal, the trials of sacrifice and strength, he replied, his voice echoing through the clearing. Face them with courage, and you will emerge stronger. Fail, and the shadows will consume you both. The atmosphere thickened, and the wolves around them murmured, uncertainty rippling like a wave. Alina could feel their eyes on her, scrutiny mingling with fear. We will face this together. Rhett nodded, his face a mask of determination. Together, he echoed, his eyes burning with resolve. But first, we must return to the pack. They need to see our commitment. As they turned to leave, Celine's voice sliced through the air. You're remaking a mistake, Rhett. The pack will never accept her. You'll ruin everything. Alina shot her a withering look, but Rhett's expression softened, a pang of regret shadowing his features. I refuse to let fear dictate my choices, Celine. This is not just about you or me, it is about the future we forge for the pack. Your future is a lie, Celine hissed, her eyes narrowing. And you, Alina, will be the reason our packs falter, mark my words. They stepped away from the clearing, the echoes of Celine's threat lingering in the air like a malignant shadow. As they made their way back, the forest felt alive, each rustle of leaves and whisper of the wind a reminder of the challenges that awaited them. Do you think she'll try to rally the pack against us? Alina asked, glancing sideways at Rhett. She might, he admitted, his jaw clenched. But I won't let her sway the others. They need to see our bond. They need to understand why I chose you. Alina's heart fluttered at his words, but the weight of uncertainty pressed heavily against her chest. And if they don't accept me? Rhett paused, turning to face her, his expression fierce and protective. Then we will show them what love could accomplish. I will fight for us no matter the cost. Alina stepped closer, feeling the warmth of his presence fill her with courage. I trust you, she whispered, and in that moment they forged an unbreakable connection that even the shadows could not sever. As they arrived back at the pack-house territory, a sense of dread twisted in Alina's stomach. The air was thick with tension, and the wolves gathered in groups, their eyes flickering with uncertainty as they glanced toward Rhett and Alina. Your Alpha returns, sir. Rhett called, his voice resonating with authority. And he brings with him the truth. The murmurs quieted, and the pack turned their attention toward them, eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Celine stood at the forefront, her expression a mask of simmering rage. What truth, Rhett? She demanded, her voice dripping with venom. Have you come to declare your love for the shadow? What of your duty? Rhett stepped forward, taking a breath to steady his resolve. I have chosen love over fear. Alina is my mate, and together we will lead the Silverhall into a new era, one where strength and love coexist. Gasps echoed through the crowd, disbelief rippling like a storm. Celine's face twisted in fury. You've lost your mind. This is a betrayal of our pack, the very foundation we stand upon. Alina's heart raced, sensing the hostility in the air. I am not your enemy. I wish to fight for this pack, for all of us, she implored, her voice raw with emotion. But I cannot do it without your trust. One of the older wolves stepped forward, his brow furrowed. Trust must be earned, not demanded. How can we believe you, Alina? You be hidden in shadows while we be fought for our lives. Believe that love can be our greatest strength, Alina replied, her voice steady despite the quaking within. I am willing to stand with you all to fight against the darkness that threatens us together. Celine stepped forward, her voice rising above the murmurs. You are a fool to think love will save you. It will only lead to ruin. You are not fit to be Luna. I don't seek to be Luna just by title, Alina countered, her voice unwavering. I seek to be one with you all, to build a future where we fight for each other, not against each other. A low growl emanated from the crowd, and Rhett raised a hand, silencing them. Listen, this is not a decision made lightly. I have brought Alina to our hearts. She is bound by fate to me. Will we not fight for what is right? The murmur shifted, uncertainty battling with hope. An elder wolf, silver in his fur, spoke up. We have always followed strength, but if you believe love can guide us, then we must see proof, both in your actions and in your heart as resolve. Alina felt the weight of their judgment, but there was a flicker of hope. Then let me prove it, she said, her voice steady. Let us face the trials together. Celine stepped back, her expression one of disbelief mixed with resentment. You'll regret this, all of you. You'll see the chaos your love will bring. The pack, unsure yet intrigued, began to murmur amongst themselves, and Rhett stepped forward, his eyes blazing. Then let us face the trials. Together we will show everyone the strength of our bond. Alina turned to Rhett, the weight of the moment heavy with emotion. No matter the outcome, I will not falter. I believe in us. Rhett nodded, a firm grip on her shoulder. So do I. Let us prepare for what lies ahead. We will not let fear dictate our future. Together, they began to rally the wolves, a sense of purpose igniting within them. But as the shadows loomed larger and uncertainty threatened to engulf them all, the path ahead was unclear. In a world where love faced insurmountable odds, would their bond prove strong enough to conquer all? The night deepened, and the winds whispered promises of change, carrying with them the echoes of destiny. As they stood united, hearts intertwined, Alina felt the ancient magic of the moon wrap around them. A fight lay ahead, but they would face it together, two wolves bound by love, ready to confront the darkness that awaited them. The trials had only just begun. Alina stood at the edge of the Silver Howl territory, the moon casting a silvery glow over the landscape. Her breath came in shallow bursts as she gazed at the horizon, where the first hints of dawn began to color the sky. In her heart, a storm brewed. The trials ahead loomed like shadows, threatening to consume her and the man she loved. Rhett stood beside her, his presence a steadying force amidst the chaos. Are you ready? He asked, his voice low and filled with an intensity that made her heart race. I don't know if I'll ever be ready, she admitted, her voice trembling. But I will face it all as long as I am with you. The strength of their bond surged between them, a mystical tether that echoed the ancient magic of the moon. Rhett turned to her, his dark eyes filled with a mix of determination and vulnerability. We will prove to them that love can be a beacon of strength. Together, we'll show them what it means to lead with our hearts. As they made their way back to the pack's center, Lena could feel the tension in the air thickening, wrapping around her like a suffocating shroud. The pack had gathered, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Celine stood at the forefront, a fierce warrior masked in anger. You dare show your face after defying tradition? Celine spat, her voice dripping with disdain. You think love will save you? Alina felt the anger rising within her, but she pushed it down, focusing instead on the resolve that Rhett had ignited in her. No one is saying love is a magic shield, but it is the foundation upon which we can build something stronger. Your words are empty, Celine taunted, crossing her arms. You will be a burden, a weakness that will bring our pack to its knees. Enough. Rhett's voice rang out, commanding attention. Alina is not a weakness, she is my mate, and together, we will face whatever trials lie ahead. If we are to lead, then we must do so united, not divided by fear. The members of the pack quieted, eyes flickering between Rhett and Alina. Doubts lingered in the air, but so did an undeniable spark of hope. An elder wolf stepped forward, his muzzle grey with age and wisdom. We have followed tradition for far too long. Perhaps it is time we consider a different path. Alina's heart raced. I will stand with you all, and I am ready to face the trials the Keeper spoke of. I believe that together we can forge a new future. Celine scoffed, her eyes narrowing. Trials, you think you can prove yourself worthy through some childish games? Love one to save you when danger is at your door. But the elder wolf spoke again, his voice steady. Perhaps Alina needs to prove herself, not just through love, but through strength and courage. We will see if she can face what is to come. Alina felt the weight of their judgment pressing against her chest. What do you want from me? She asked, her voice trembling with anxiety. The trials will challenge your resolve, the elder replied. You will face your deepest fears and your darkest truths. Only then can you earn our trust. Wet stepped closer, his presence radiating strength. And I will stand by you, no matter what. Together, we are stronger, and we will face each challenge head-on. A chill swept through the crowd, and whispers of uncertainty filled the air. Saline's voice sliced through. You think love will shield you from the darkness? You are just a girl playing at being a Luna. Alina's heart raced as she felt the sting of Saline's words. I don't seek power for myself. I want to protect our pack. I want to show you all that love can be our greatest strength. Saline laughed, a cruel sound that echoed through the clearing. You are a fool, and your naivete will bring us all to ruin. If you are here to play leader, I'll show you the consequences of your foolishness. Stop. Wet's voice thundered, silencing Saline. This is not just about you, Saline. It is about our future, our lives. If you cannot see that love is a part of our strength, then perhaps you are the one who doesn't belong in this pack. Alina felt Brett's unwavering support fill her with confidence, but doubt still whispered in the back of her mind. What if I fail? She whispered to him, her heart heavy with uncertainty. What if I can't meet the challenges? Then we'll adapt, he replied, his eyes locking onto hers. You are not alone in this. We will find our way together, whatever it takes. As the sun began to rise, casting golden light across the clearing, the pack gathered around them, the weight of their expectations hanging in the air like a storm cloud. Trials awaited, each one designed to test them in ways they had never imagined. First trial would be one of courage, a test that would force Alina to confront her deepest fears. Follow me, the elder wolf commanded, leading them deeper into the forest, where the trees grew thicker and shadows danced like specters. Alina's heart pounded as she stepped forward, Rhett by her side, their hands clasped tightly together. They arrived at a clearing encircled by ancient trees, the air thick with magic. This is where you will face your fears, the elder announced. You will enter the shadows alone, but you will not be without support. Your mate will be waiting for you on the other side. Alina felt a wave of apprehension wash over her. What if I can't do it? You can, Rhett whispered, squeezing her hand. You have strength within you, and I believe in you. You've survived so much already, you can survive this. With a final nod, Alina stepped into the darkness, the shadows wrapping around her like a cloak. The air grew cold, and she could feel the weight of her fears pressing down on her. Memories flashed before her, moments of doubt, of weakness, and of pain. Alina, a voice called out, echoing through the void. It was her mother's voice, filled with disappointment. You will never be strong enough to lead. Enough? Alina cried, shaking her head against the memories. I am strong, I will prove it. Will you, little wolf? Another voice taunted Saline's voice. You read just a shadow, hiding behind Rhett's strength. You will never be a true Luna. The darkness pressed in tighter, and Alina felt a surge of rage and determination. I refuse to be defined by others. I am not a shadow. I am a wolf of the silver howl. As the words left her lips, the shadows began to recede, revealing a flickering light ahead. Rhett, she called, the light growing brighter as she pushed through her fears. I am coming. With every step, she felt the weight lift from her shoulders, and soon she burst into the clearing, gasping for breath. Rhett stood there, waiting for her with open arms, pride shining in his eyes. You did it, he exclaimed, pulling her into a fierce embrace. I knew you could face it. I faced my fears, Alina said, tears of relief and joy streaming down her cheeks. And I felt their hold over me break. The pack emerged from the trees, all written on their faces. Alina, you've proven your courage, the elder wolf said. You have shown us the strength that lies within you, but there are more trials to come. Alina felt the exhilaration from her triumph, but it was short-lived. Saline stepped forward, her eyes blazing with envy. You may have passed this trial, but I doubt you will survive the next. You are still a fool in love, and your heart will betray you. Tension in the air thickened as the wolves murmured amongst themselves. You are wrong, Saline, Alina said, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. Love is not a weakness, and I will show you that. The next trial loomed ahead, one of sacrifice. It would test not only Alina's resolve, but also the love she shared with Rhett. They would have to face the greatest loss to gain the bond they yearned for. As the sun began to set, the elder wolf led them to a cliff overlooking the vast expanse of the valley. You will each be faced with a choice, he explained, his voice grave. One of you must sacrifice something precious to prove your love. Only then can you truly unite. Alina felt the weight of those words press against her heart. What do you mean? Sacrifice what? You will each be shown a vision of what you hold dear, the elder continued. and you must decide what you are willing to let go for the sake of your love." As he spoke, visions began to swirl around them, their lives together, the laughter, the warmth of the bond, and the future they had dreamed of. But then shadows crept in, taunting them with visions of loss, separation, betrayal, and darkness creeping into their hearts. "Rhett, I don't want to lose you," Alina cried, her heart pounding as the vision